Peeps, we're doing a reaction to the Control Resonant first look preview. We hope it's good. Hopefully there's less chatter and more visual. Or even if there's chatter, let it be chatter that explains what we're looking at rather than showing the different developers and not enough gameplay footage, because this game, highly anticipated. It's on my wish list. It's on my to-do list, to playlist for this year. And I assume it's definitely coming out around August, September. I don't know. Hold on, because Wolverine is coming out in September, right?
That's right.
I hope this game comes out before Wolverine, because if this game comes out after Wolverine or in the same month as Wolverine, I feel Wolverine will swamp.
Wait a minute.
I mean, people will buy the game, but I feel that Wolverine will be, people will be too excited for Wolverine to even play this game.
Damn.
For me, I prefer it came out like at least March, April, May. At least March, April, May, then we're good. Because I know Sados or Sodos is coming out around end of March, April, early April.
Woo!
Is it Sados or Sodos? The people that did Returnal. I'm looking forward to that one as well. So this year is stacked with games, man. We're looking at Sodos. We're looking at Onimusha, Wolverine, this game, and I feel there's one more game left that I'm missing. So that's 4 games. 4 awesome games. I feel there's 2 more I'm missing. I feel there's 2 more I'm looking forward to playing. Dude, live streaming is going to be fun on this channel, man. Live streaming is going to be fun on this channel.
Woo!
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed, shall we?
The reveal trailer for Control Resonant, the sequel to IGN's 2019 Game of the Year, made a few things clear right off the bat. First, we wouldn't be playing as Jesse Faden anymore, but rather her brother.
Okay, we
Dylan.
get this part. We already saw it. Just show us the gameplay. Put it. This is what I'm talking about. This chatter. God damn it, man.
House. Instead, we'd be trying to navigate our way through a Manhattan that had literally folded up on itself.
This shit still looks sexy, man. Oh, it looks sexy right here.
Getting out.
Looks sexy right here.
Dylan isn't wielding Jesse's badass transforming service weapon, or even one similar to it. Instead, he's got his...
I wonder what that means. It's like, it's shedding? I wonder what that means in game. Visually it looks cool, I guess, but what does that mean in the game? Does the weapon have ammunition now?
Own badass transforming weapon, the Aberrant, a massive hammer that brings combat into much closer
Massive hammer? I thought it was a shape-shifting weapon.
Remedy showed off a bit of proper gameplay at Sony's recent State of Play, but I've had the pleasure since then of getting an extended hands-off look at more gameplay, along with learning more information from the lead gameplay designer and the creative director.
Oh, his movement is good.
With surprised me.
It looks very different from the E3 trailer, the State of Play, though. The graphics don't look the same. Is it me? Am I tripping?
But I've had the pleasure since then of getting an extended hands-off look at more gameplay, along with learning more information from the lead gameplay designer and the creative director. What I came away with surprised me. I adored the first.
I could be wrong, but something looks a little different.
Early indications are that I might like Resonant even more.
You might like? Can you put someone else to talk about this game instead of this dude, man?
Not just samey sequel, but it's that its melee combat.
Yo, these guys are okay. That's good. Oh.
Quote, this is
so that means he can maintain air combos for a while. Hold, let me take that back.
Just samey sequel. But it's that its melee combat.
I like the evasion.
My Ninja Gaiden style itch.
Yeah, the time he stays long in the air is good.
Said lead gameplay designer Sergei Mohov. It's a push-forward, action-driven, aggressive playstyle action game. The player is very much in charge and not simply reacting. The main driver of combat is you. Tell me more, Remedy.
Just show me the footage, man. Okay, hands on preview. Beautiful.
Remedy is
that's a kaleidoscope, right?
Resonant an action RPG, and while the studio confirmed there won't be a ton of gear or inventory management, it's not a survival game, it's an action game.
Okay, that's good. It's good to hear.
The team did show off some of its systemic depth. For one, there are talents, which Remedy says are, quote, the glue that ties your weapons and combat abilities together.
Okay,
one such example
like a skill tree or something.
Perfect Dodge, which grants you a temporary boost to your next attack if you, as the name implies, time your dodge perfectly. Others include extended dash, self-explanatory, backstab damage, and sustained assault. Remedy also made it clear that you can't unlock everything in a single playthrough.
Nice. Oh, yo, let me pause.
But why?
I gotta give praise just for that statement only.
That's right.
That means New Game Plus. That means New Game Plus off the bat. No DLC needed.
Woo!
No patch added 6 months after or a year after before you. Yo,
That's what I'm talking about.
any studio that has the gumption to do that off the bat, I salute you for that one.
You ain't lying.
I absolutely salute you for that one. Well done. Well done.
Have ample opportunity to customize your build in the Gap. No, not the department store. It functions similar to Alan Wake 2's Mind Place. Here, you can test out various abilities earned by defeating Resonance, the bosses. The Gap also allows you to tweak your aberrant, including the primary forms, secondary forms, and combo enders.
My gosh, this is going to be an in-depth game. It feels like it's not just going to be an action for the sake of action, but you got to be, oh my gosh, you got to be on your A game for this one. You got to be on your A game for this one, man.
Finishers. A big goal is giving players more choice with their gameplay style.
Good.
Like, for instance, if you'd prefer to tailor your build to focus on turning enemies to fight on your side, you can do that. Lots of stats are also exposed in the Gap if you want to min-max your build. Less meaningful customization, meaning the cosmetic kind rather than the gameplay kind, happens in FBC field offices around Manhattan. Remedy describes these as the heart of FBC activity, saying they'll evolve over time as the Hiss crisis overtaking Manhattan deepens. As everyone there is trying to figure out how to deal with the disaster out the window, you can customize your outfit.
When I saw this, man, I was like, yo, it's going to be dope.
Manhattan, which is split into several districts, aims to be visually distinct.
Oh, so we're gonna
from
get daytime
zone to
gameplay.
zone. Remedy wants to have more visual variety across the world.
Look at how
the
dope
team
this
also
looks, man.
knows that
How
the
don't you human
map
beings
was
splitting over there?
frustrating in the first game.
I gotta give you second kudos for at least admitting it.
That's right.
I gotta give you second kudos for at least admitting it.
Oh, is that how you feel?
And this is the kind of shit that used to piss me off in the past. I would hold back on expressing myself with certain things when it comes to gameplay, movies, or cartoons, or just life experience, thinking, oh, I might get some pushback from strangers who don't even know who and what the fuck I am.
Damn.
So I'm glad I made that video about the poor mapping system. This is much better.
Shut up and take my money.
This is much better. Visually, the 3D look as well. And I hope you can rotate it and then zoom in and zoom out. Like a place marker, zoom in. Place marker. Oh my God. People don't have... You have zero idea how important that is.
Let me explain.
I don't even know how studios don't even just have certain laws when it comes to certain principles, certain basic principles when it comes to mapping system in all games. If I'm going from point A to B, putting a place marker, especially when someone has played the game before you and has completed the game, it makes it easier for them to say, this is where you can unlock this thing or find this treasure. They put a place marker on the map, they zoom out and show you the visual, and then go back into the mapping system and say, this is where you put your place marker. You know when the camera pans around to just to give you a visual reference of where you're standing, so you know when you get to that part of the map or the location, you just pan around and say, okay, this is where this person said we should go to. Putting a place marker it's so helpful for those little things of a person who's finished the game before you, especially for you who want to go to a particular place you remember seeing in the previous gameplay or previous run before you went to bed or something. Just so you remember where you're going to next. Basic shit, man. Basic shit. I'm so happy that they called it out, and I respect them for that. I respect them for that, man. That's dope.
Progress version of it that clearly delineates each zone and seemed easy enough to follow along with. But what of the markers on that map? You'll have your choice of 2 major categories of quests at any given time.
Okay.
Dylan's Journey, aka the Golden Path, and world quests, or basically side quests. In
Okay.
addition, there are smaller action bits and tiny puzzles, seemingly akin to unmarked micro gameplay moments. Through these, you can discover both secrets and lore. We want the world to be someplace you want to return to, Kasumi said.
Good.
In one early mission I got a brief look at, Dylan enters the Central District office of Zoe de Vera, a new character to control who speaks to Dylan through his earpiece throughout the campaign. She also assigns him missions. She's often found listening to music, and Remedy promises that music will play a big part in Resonant's world building.
How though? Because that might be a pain when it comes to streaming on YouTube, man.
A clip of a conversation between Dylan and Zoe showcased the new dialogue system, which sadly I don't have footage of, but now not only very welcomingly gives you multiple choices for every answer, but also lets you carry out these conversations while moving.
Any updates for
The combat system is going to be so sexy, man.
Kind of. You'll know it when you hear it.
Remedy's emphasis on player-initiated action even extends to not cementing you in place during dialogue sequences, which I can appreciate. Oh, and on this note, Remedy said that while Dylan's dialogue choices are there to give you a bit more agency over character interactions, they're not going to meaningfully alter the story. In other words, Remedy confirmed there won't be multiple endings to Resonant's story.
Okay, that's good. I wonder if they plan on doing a third game and using a different character, or imagine if they do a third game and it's a co-op game.
I don't know.
The third game and then he gets to control the aberrant and the shape-shifting gun.
That's what I'm talking about.
I feel I'm going to fall in love with this game more than I did with Control.
Well, duh.
It's like a no-brainer for me because of the Devil May Cry comparison and the similarities with God of War as well. So yeah, I feel I'm going to be more in tune with this game more than I was with Control. Control was fun. Control was fun and challenging, but this one feels like it's right up my alley. Dude, look at that shit right there. Look at that shit right there. Ready to kick ass, man. Ready to kick these bitches' asses.
As Control Resonant is only at its alpha stage of development, I wasn't yet able to see a continuous, uninterrupted section of gameplay. Instead, I got a look at a number of 1 to 2 minute gameplay clips. But once Remedy broke
Sniper,
out...
hold on a minute. I like the variety of the different enemies, but I'm trying to figure out which ones is going to be the docile ones, like this little miniature ones right here. And then these big ones are going to be the more active ones. This one with the 3 claws, I think. I've seen 2. This one seems to be the fastest one so far. Then there's the one that flies as well. I'm digging the little mini-map here, by the way. Mini-map is dope. I'm assuming these are the sluggish ones. This one is the heavy one. That's the fast one. One of them teleports, right? Another one that flies. Let me take it back a little bit. Just want to figure out the different enemy types. I think Warner Brothers should jump on this and make a movie.
Wait a minute.
This is begging for a movie to be made. It just feels like Dune as well. So just get on board and do this shit, man. Make your money. I think Keanu Reeves would make a good Dylan. I don't know why I said that, but Keanu Reeves feels like he fits in this world. From like Matrix to Constantine, Keanu Reeves should be Dylan. Yeah, I'm pitching that already. I am pitching that already. I don't know who has already done the fan casting for the movies, but I'm putting it out there. Hopefully Keanu Reeves is a fan of this story, or if he sees it, or if the universe wants the movie to be made. Why haven't you guys from day one when Control came out? Why hasn't anyone made noise to Hollywood?
That's a good question.
If this was a Amazon Prime or Hulu series, I'm on board.
That's right.
But I feel you gotta have Keanu Reeves. I was gonna say Tom Cruise, but no. You could get away with Tom Cruise. You could, but Keanu Reeves feels more in tune with the world. I don't know why. I don't know why I said that. He's the only actor that came to mind, and I thought, let me pause a little bit. I'm thinking of a third actor, but nothing is coming through yet. Maybe if I really sit down and marinate on it, then maybe. But my first instinct is do a movie, and Keanu Reeves has to be the guy who plays Dylan.
Control Resonant is only at its alpha stage of development. I wasn't yet able to see a continuous, uninterrupted section of gameplay. Instead, I got a...
Yeah, see that big guy there? He's the heavy one. There's a flying one right there. These are the sluggish, slow ones. Then there's a sniper thing somewhere that had a red beam on him just now.
At a number of 1 to 2 minute gameplay clips.
Yeah, right there. I don't know what that one is.
But once Remedy broke out the action, my eyes opened wider. Control's
Nice.
melee-oriented sequel is
Just that airtime. The airtime is
not
sexy.
only faster paced than its predecessor, it's faster paced than I was expecting. I was mentally prepared for a Souls-light experience, maybe something akin to the Star Wars
Nice,
Jedi
nice,
games from
nice.
Respawn.
Oh, I'm going to
But
have
no,
so much fun with
in
this
the action
one.
I saw, it's got some lightning in its veins.
Oh, did he just pull up a turret just now? Hold on a second. He pulled up a little command turret.
Games from Respawn. But no,
See? I wonder what that thing is. Well, what's with the shedding? What does that shedding thing mean?
in the action I saw,
Yeah, he pulls up a turret right here behind him.
it's got
He starts shooting it. Oh, this is
some
nice.
lightning in its veins. I won't call it Ninja Gaiden fast, but it's in the Devil May Cry Bayonetta neighborhood for
Yeah, we need it to be Devil May Cry, not Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden is a little too crazy for me. Devil May Cry is just right.
sure. Dylan was constantly
Come on, that finisher though. This streaming? I'm looking forward to streaming this shit, boy.
You don't understand.
It's got some lightning in its veins. I won't call it Ninja Gaiden fast, but it's in the Devil
Did you see the way he evaded? That evasion was so quick. He dashed backwards so quick. You didn't even notice it. Okay, so that's 4 weapons now. So it's the fist, the hammer, the dual blade, and then an axe-looking weapon. And then I've seen one that looks like a whip. So that's 5 weapons.
Star Wars Jedi games from Respawn. But no,
He sheds them.
in the action I saw,
In fact, that's 6 weapons because he's just got 1 blade in his arm now.
it's got some lightning in its veins. I won't call it Ninja Gaiden fast.
There's the whip. Oh, that evasion is sweet, man. Oi.
Games from Respawn. But no, in the action I saw, it's got some lightning in its veins. I won't call it Ninja Gaiden fast. But
Nice.
it's in the Devil May Cry Bayonetta neighborhood. for
Nice,
sure.
man. Come on.
Dylan was constantly
So that's a double dual weapon. Oh, yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love already, dudes.
jumping up, floating, attacking, dodging, strafing.
Ooh, the evasion
performing
is sexy.
finishing moves,
Is that a Psy? So that's 6 weapons. Oh my god.
and rinsing and repeating in rapid succession.
Ooh, I didn't know there was a spinning blade. Oh, 7 weapons. God damn.
It's faster paced than I was expecting. I was mentally prepared for a Souls-light experience, maybe something akin to the Star Wars Jedi games from Respawn.
Fucking nice,
But no,
man.
in the action I saw, it's got some lightning in its veins.
Evasion is too
I won't
much.
call it Ninja
Too good.
Gaiden fast,
Damn.
but it's in the Devil
Give
May
them
Cry
again.
Bayonetta neighborhood for sure.
Hold on to this for me.
Dylan was
Ese,
constantly
nice one.
jumping up, floating, attacking, dodging,
Mhm.
strafing,
Give them
performing
again.
finishing moves, and
That looks like a
rinsing and
Psy.
repeating
Then there's a
in
spinning
rapid
looking thing.
succession.
Oh my gosh.
And I should add, all of this was happening with a lot of enemies surrounding Dylan at
That's
once.
the whole point.
These
Keeps you on
are
your toes.
clearly not going to be one-on-one fights.
Nice. That's what I
which
want.
admit is what I was expecting based on the gameplay clips teased at the end of the debut trailer.
Come on. This
Oh,
game is
and
going to be
speaking of fights,
badass.
I also got a slightly less brief look at the Dancer Resonant fight, very briefly featured
That's the
at
boss,
the end
yeah.
of the State of Play gameplay trailer. It's not enough to make any judgments on just yet, especially not without getting to play them for myself, but they've certainly got the potential to be memorable moments in the campaign.
It's going to be a badass game, man. It's going to be a badass game.
In a Q&A session after the gameplay presentation, I learned a bit more about what Remedy has planned for this sequel. The team did preface the conversation by saying they'd talk more about narrative and characters later in the year, closer to Resonant's release, but for now, there are nevertheless some relevant new details to share. First, on the technical side, Remedy has tuned its in-house game engine Northlight to enhance draw distance and support more enemies on screen at once.
That's good.
They also want to make sure they're hitting a solid 60 frames per second on all platforms. Second, will enemies respawn? Mohov replied, quote, "To a degree, yes, but there's more nuance," end quote.
What does that mean,
Apparently, that nuance ties to the narrative that Remedy isn't quite ready to dive into yet. Next, is a fully range-based build possible? Mohov said, quote, "The main weapon is the Aberrant, and that's Dylan's preferred method of combat. It's never going to be ranged only," so that answers that.
Okay.
Interestingly, Kasurinen said, quote, "Music plays a huge part. Zoe's definitely in the middle of that, and it's part of how they bond. We don't want music to just be a thing you listen to. It becomes part of the overall flow. The music is part of that experience, and that's hugely important to us, and we want to find our own way of doing it. As for influences on Resonant, Kasurinen acknowledged Neon Genesis Evangelion and, for the dialogue system, one of my favorite walking simulators. Firewatch was a big inspiration for this, he said. Finally, as expected, you certainly do not need to have played the first Control or the Remedy Connected Universe Alan Wake games to enjoy the story or characters of Resonant.
Okay, good choice.
And with
Smart
that,
choice.
my very impressive demo of Control Resonant ended, and I was left wondering if there's a chance we might be playing this sequel sooner rather than later.
Why?
No, Remedy isn't ready to reveal a release date just yet, and I'd still wager it's going to ship in the second half of the year, but if the studio is showing off behind closed doors gameplay right after its first gameplay trailer, which itself came very shortly after its reveal trailer, combined with the looming meteor impact that will be Grand Theft Auto 6's release in November, I can't help but be left with a healthy dose of optimism that this could land closer to Control 1's August release month than
see?
Alan Wake
I knew it.
2's late October window. Is this just wishful thinking on my part?
I think June,
Quite
July is good.
possibly. And with how packed this year's slate of big games is, I'm not sure there's really a quiet time that any game will get all to itself. But after seeing Control Resonant's aggressive, fast-paced combat for myself,
Look, my
I'm even
God,
more
hold on. You talking too much, bro. Let me take it back. Hold on.
on my part, quite possibly. And with how packed this year's slate of big games is, I'm not sure there's really a quiet time that any game will get all to itself. But after seeing Control Resonant's aggressive, fast-paced
Right here.
combat for myself,
Right here.
I'm
Right
even
here.
more
Come
fired
on.
up to get my hands on it.
Imagine what the boss fights would be like, because he's already looking sexy, just taking down regular, tough-looking and basic-looking villains or bad guys on the street. But imagine the boss fights must be intricate, and it looks like it's going to be stressful. It looks like this one alone here. Oh my goodness! It looks like it's going to be a very, very challenging experience when it comes to the bosses. That was very, 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 very awesome. I'm more excited now.
You ain't lying.
I'm more excited, and I'm glad that they mentioned the mapping system and new game plus mode. To me, that whole you can't max out your character in the first playthrough, instant heads up to say, yo, new game plus mode off the bat.
Outstanding.
Just like Devil May Cry, the new game plus mode is already baked into the game. Meaning once you finish your first playthrough on easy, normal, or hard. No, it's easy, normal that normally comes out, right? Then you go through normal, then it unlocks hard. You unlock hard, you beat hard, it unlocks extra hard and double XL hard or whatever it is. So that whole inbuilt thing is baked into the game already with no need to download a patch. It was already like this from DMC 3, Dante's Awakening. I'm assuming it was like that in 1 and 2 as well, back in the day when there was no patches to download in the first place. So even Ratchet Clank already had the new game plus mode baked into the game. So when games get all snazzy and sexy, we'll let you download a patch in 6 months' time. We just want you to play the game first. Suck a good one.
What?
Suck a good one.
Damn.
God of War 2018 did that as well, and I chose not to buy the game until that patch was released. I was Googling that every 2 months or so. Is New Game Plus mode out yet? No. New Game Plus mode out yet? No. When it came out, I said, now I'm ready to buy your game, because I want to be able to play the game, enjoy my experience, and then max out my character through the second playthrough, and also beat the villains and the bosses and every other creature that pissed me off the first playthrough. Plus, it's a win-win for studio when you implement a new game plus mode in your game. So not only that, you're saying that this game is so intricate, you won't be able to max out your character in the first playthrough. So that gives you more room to be very, very creative and playful and have fun with each of the different iterations of that aberrant weapon. Then when you feel more confident in your play style and how you as a player play with I can't remember his name, the main character's combat system, then you can max out the different parts of the weapons that you prefer in your second playthrough and then have more fun.
Nice.
I'm assuming also, just like Ratchet and Clank, the enemies get stronger or tougher or they move a little different in the second playthrough. Especially with the respawn, they might learn your moves and say, okay, this particular player likes to use this weapon a lot. We're gonna have different responses or defenses towards this weapon or towards this playstyle. Dude, this game is looking like it's going to be very, very entertaining. Strong story, smart gameplay, responsive, very responsive. The way the person who's playing the game seems to be dodging here and there and dashing backwards and forwards. I love that quick pace, but yet keeping you on your toes. But at the same time, it's not just a hack and slash, busy sparkles here and there destruction. It seems to be very, very seems to be a very, very precise setup.
Let me explain.
The wide shot of all the different enemies in your location. You know which one is about to attack. You know which one needs a finisher. You know which one you need to use a projectile weapon for whilst you're doing close combat. So that one is in the distance and he's got that sniper beam on you. Okay, before I get hit by that one, let me just deal with this one whilst I do something to do with that one. Then you've got the force push and pull Star Wars powers. This is what I said in my previous video when I was talking about the mapping system. This game is making any and all Star Wars games to date, minus the Force Awakens. Minus the Force Unleashed. It's making the recent Star Wars game anyway, in my opinion, in my experience, is making them look like shit.
Hold up.
Even Control did a far better job of making you feel like a Jedi than the recent Jedi games I've played, especially from Ubisoft and the other company, the one that did Cal Kestis or Kel Kestis, whatever his name is. That didn't feel like a Jedi game. This and Control feel like Jedi games. So I don't know why a studio can't just make a Jedi this anyway. Whatever, man. This is looking good. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments section below which one of you is looking forward to this stuff, to this game. I hope it's at least June, July. August is cool, but it's just, it's too close towards autumn, winter. I want to experience this and enjoy this in summer. All right, peeps, that's me, Audi. I've of course been your one and only multi-potentialite, neurodivergent host,
Cosmic Jedi, signing out. Thank you for watching.